This is Skinny Spazoid speaking. Death was a recurring theme in medieval art. This was probably due to the fact that there were many wars happening at the time, as well as diseases such as the Black Plague. Death was used as a symbol by these artists to show the futility of material goals. In this way, death was seen as a kind of spiritual symbol by these artists. Using death in art is also a great way to show fear, despair, and even some surreal elements. It is also possible that at the time, with all of the chaos that was happening, that people found comfort in the idealization of death as it was a way of saying that happiness is what's most important and not things that they had no control over. Number 10, The Dance of the Skeletons by Michael Waldman. This picture is based off of folklore at the time, which said that skeletons dug out of their own grave and would dance around and play music. This image being popularized at the time was very revolutionary in the sense that there was no message in it, but it was simply meant to entertain the viewer or thrill the viewer. Not to be mistaken with the Dance of Death, which is something completely different. If you've seen in other media or even in other pictures scenes of skeletons dancing, odds are it was based on this picture. Probably the most famous example of this is the Walt Disney cartoon. Number 9, The Last Judgement by Stephen Lochner. This painting was originally one of those paintings that were sort of 12 paintings put together. The painting was sawed into 12 individual pieces to help with the condition of the painting. The subject matter of the painting involves the last judgment of Christianity. This painting has some macabre elements. Some examples of this include angels and demons fighting to the death, the dead rising from their graves like zombies. There is even the damned sinners being dragged to hell by demons. Very, very dark stuff. Number 8, Various Miniatures in Hugo von Trinberg's book. Similar to The Last Judgment, these paintings deal with demons and people being tortured for sin. One of the things that make these pictures very unique is the fact that the people in the pictures, although being tortured and such, look very normal, which is pretty freaky. Number 7, The Triumph of Death by Peter Bruegel the Elder. This one feels like a medieval apocalypse as there are many dead bodies lying around in a vast, desolate landscape. This painting also details a bunch of skeletons, an army of skeletons, attacking other people, which shows the fear and irrationality geared towards death and the atmosphere of the time. Number 6, Death and the Maiden by Nicolas Manuel. This painting details death having sexual relations with a maiden. The theme of death and a maiden can be seen as far back as ancient Greece and is still portrayed in some media. For example, with the Marvel character Thanos. I find the idea of death being personified very interesting, and the idea that the character of death would have a sexuality is also very interesting. Number 5, The Dance of Death by Burnt Notke. The Dance of Death is a recurring motif in medieval folklore, where the idea is that the dead will rise out of their grave to find people to dance with them. This was done to show the mortality and how every person is vulnerable to death. In this picture, death is seen dancing with a king and a queen, showing that even they are victim to the vulnerability that people have towards death. Number 4, Jacopo Robusti's Saint Rock in the Hospital. This is one of many paintings in the medieval era that was centered around the Black Plague. This painting details a person suffering from the Black Plague on his deathbed, surrounded by loved ones, and Saint Roch, who is known as a plague saint. Number 3, the Limbourg brothers' Procession of Saint Gregory. This painting is one where we have a bunch of priests giving blessings to people with the Black Plague. As you can see, there are many people lining up for the blessings, even going so far back as to seem that they are going out of the painting. Very interesting effect. Number 2, various pictures in the 14th century encyclopedia Omne Bonum. These pictures are very interesting because they all deal very intensely with disease, which is something people usually don't fascinate too much over. Looking at these pictures, you get a real sense of despair, like the people who are trying to get blessings for diseases that are probably incurable, that even affect their physical appearance. Number 1, the Codex Gigas, created in 13th century Benedictine monastery. This book is also called the Devil's Bible because of its massive size and also because of the many rumors based around how it was created. The book has many pictures in it which are very big, as the book is very big, including a giant painting of the devil, which looks very animated.